Anyway, Vianey.
People love to see your face.
People love to see it. It is time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score on award-winning deals like the rugged and reliable 2024 Honda Ridgeline. Visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more, or just go visit them. Go visit our friends in North Texas Honda Dealers. It's North Texas Honda Dealers. It's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. Get your questions in on Facebook, YouTube, etc. We will go about 13 minutes up to the top. So let us know your comments, Facebook, YouTube, etc. Question, I'll field them. We'll start with Todd Gleaton. Todd Gleaton asks, what are your thoughts on Patterson to Baylor? So I'm not sure if you saw the news yesterday, but Baylor has hired it's like an analyst role, or it's like an assistant coaching role, but I believe it's off field.
You were a little confused by this analyst role.
Yes, I was. And they have hired Gary Patterson. Now, Gary Patterson perhaps is best known as the head coach of the TCU Horned Frogs. You know, the big rival of Baylor. He is now crossing going south on 35 down to Waco to become crossing the Brazos. I guess, yeah. Ooh. You can... No, the football stadium's technically north of the Brazos. Anyway, all that's to say.
Yes.
He is heading down to take over as be an analyst on the staff there at Baylor. Strange bedfellows, to be clear. And I will say this about Gary Patterson.
Okay.
There was really never any doubt that he knows his way around defense. He is a defensive mastermind. He's a defensive guru. He in many ways, I read a really interesting article about him recently, about how he really helped to evolve college football defenses and brought the 4-2-5 really into vogue defensively, and obviously did huge things. I mean, he took them and won a Rose Bowl there. It's going to be odd. It's going to be very odd whenever whenever you see him for the first time in a Baylor shirt, because he has represented, and I think at times had, a relatively antagonistic relationship with Baylor and people around the Baylor program. But I think that this is the kind of move that Dave Aranda makes when he needs to win. Like they need to win, plain and simple. If Dave Aranda doesn't win this year, he's going to be fired. That's not really an opinion. He's going to get run. And so I think that this is I don't want to call it a desperation move, because I think that anytime you're bringing in a quality football guy into your program, like, he's going to help you succeed on the defensive side. What I would say is that this, to me, indicates that Dave Aranda understands that this is you have to win now, and because of that, you have to maybe put aside some of the other past histories and just see if he'll bite. And obviously he has, and so he's going to be the next one of the assistants at Baylor. It's going to be very, very interesting. Let's see other questions we've got. Connor Heffernan asks, what are your thoughts on how Austin LBJ landed after UIL realignment? So realignment has come and gone. We're still answering questions about that. One of the things that I think if you are looking at where Austin LBJ landed, I think overall you've got to be pretty pleased with it, and it has almost nothing to do with the fact of what district they were put in, because they got put into. Find it. I'm looking. You're listening to live coverage of me finding where Austin LBJ landed. Austin LBJ landed in District 13, 4A Division 1. 13, 4A Division 1, so they are in the same district as, let's see, Taylor, Austin Travis, etc. They land in District 13, 4A Division 1. The most important thing that happened there is, first of all, I think they're going to be one of the favorites to win that district, probably the favorite to win that district. The other thing that's most important there, Vianey, is that this is an opportunity for them to stay in 4A. For those who don't know, back in the 2022 alignment, they had gone to the 2021 state championship game. a remarkable run for Jamal Fenner and company, getting them to the state championship game. They then turned in a 4A number, but Austin ISD decided, no, for travel reasons, everyone has to play up to 5A. So they got thrown up to 5A, and they're a good team, but you can't, you're not going to be able to compete when you're punching up that high and you're punching up above your weight class. Austin ISD this past year, for this realignment, said, okay, that's fine. You can play where you want to, where you're aligned to play. And so they dropped to 4A Division 1. Now, I don't think 4A Division 1 Region 4 is going to be particularly a picnic. I think there's going to be plenty of challenges to come out of 4A Division 1 Region 4A Division 1 Region 4. However, simply because LBJ was able to play within their weight class, I think is a win for them. It was a win before we found out what district they were in. They could be put into a district with, every contender, known to man, and it still would have been a positive thing for LBJ because they are moving down and they're being allowed to move down. So for Austin LBJ, I think that was a really big win. Okay, elsewhere. From FFR, how about Westlake being smaller than Bowie and likely securing themselves into Division II over the next 2 years? So that is a one of the things that now we get to dive into now that kind of the shock of realignment has worn off. Mm-hmm. Now we get to take a look at the enrollment numbers, especially in 6A, because the enrollment numbers determine whether you go to the Division I or Division II bracket whenever the playoffs roll around. LBJ or Westlake being smaller than Austin Bowie is a huge deal because Bowie is a likely playoff team, or at least a playoff contender, to make the playoffs, along with Lake Travis, who is bigger than Westlake. If those two get in, which right now I would say the odds are that they will, then Westlake goes to the Division II bracket. And that is a huge, huge deal because they will be one of the favorites to go to make a run in the Division II bracket of Region 4. They will not have to deal with Lake Travis. They will not have to deal with, in the state semifinal, a team like Galena Park North Shore. They can instead play teams that are still very good, Cibolo Steel, very good, etc. But they will be favored, much more favored in the Division II bracket, and, quite frankly, DeSoto Westlake would be a fun title game. DeSoto is the smallest team in their district. They will definitely go to Division II. You have DeSoto Westlake in a title game. That would be very fun. Okay, Andrew Christensen asks, where would you compare this year's DeSoto team to all-time great teams, whether it is more recent champs or all-time teams like Dangerfield from the 80s? It's a great question. And right after state championship games, the conversation about 2023 DeSoto quickly turned to, okay, where do they rank among all-time Texas high school football teams? I mean, they were spectacular. They were dominant. They were 16-0. That win over Duncanville is huge. Now, in hindsight, to be as dominant as they were all year long, I think is a huge deal. In my mind, this is me, 83 Dangerfield is still always going to be the greatest high school football team of all time. I think that just because of that defense and what they were able to do. I think 83 Dangerfield is, to me, the greatest Texas high school football team of all time. The question is, and I think it's a reasonable question, because I think there's an argument to be made that the second best high school football team of all time is 2015 Katy. That is a team that I've talked about a lot, that I think is the finest football team I've ever seen. I think 2015 Katy is the finest football team, the high school football team I've ever seen. 2023 DeSoto might be better than them. 2023 DeSoto might be better than them. And I will say this, if you want to, and there are people, again, I'm one man, and I started covering high school football essentially in earnest in like 2010. So grain of salt with everything that I say. And there are historians who will probably point to other teams and say, this team, that team, this team. And I'm not here to argue with that. In my view, any list of top 10 all-time Texas high school football teams is incomplete without 2023 DeSoto. My opinion. I do not think that there is an argument that there were 10 better all-time Texas high school football teams than 2023 DeSoto. That's my thing. 1985 Houston Yates is in that conversation as well. 2013 Allen is in that mix as well as all-time great Texas high school football teams. What I'm very comfortable saying right now is that 2023 DeSoto is a top 10 all-time Texas high school football team. We can have a conversation on where they are in that top 10. I don't want to jump out on a limb right now and make an indefensible point without doing the due diligence. But I will say that I think I'm comfortable putting them somewhere in the top 10. That's where I stand.
It's worked its way in there.
Yes, exactly. Get your questions in on Facebook, YouTube. Finally, this is a good question for you, Vianey. Andrew Christensen asks, what's your favorite concession item? So you're going to a Cowboy game, you're going to a baseball game, you're going somewhere. What is your favorite concession item?
I am that's a hard one. Well, actually, no, it's not a hard one.
It's not a hard one.
Ultimate nachos.
Okay, you just need nachos? You're a nachos fan? So do you like the gloopy yellow cheese? Canned cheese?
For like how intense my emotions are at this game, yes, I will take the gloopy cheese.
Oh, like at a Cowboys game?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking specifically at a Cowboys game where you have a vested interest.
Yes. No,
Okay.
you know what? Any game.
Any
Nachos.
game. Okay. Nachos. So you just want you like the gloopy cheese.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think there's a lot of people that that the gloopy cheese is a winner, and like the canned cheese. I think there's people who are going to say this is not a gourmet item.
No.
But dang it if it's not great.
Yeah.
You know?
I love, my dad's like, what do you want? What do you want to share? I usually share with my dad and my brother, and it's like, let's get the nachos. We all just,
it's a good party platter, good party dish. Yeah. For a stressful Cowboys game. I don't mind the canned cheese. I think the canned cheese is good. My wife loves the canned cheese.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, she's a big fan of the canned cheese.
Jalapenos and everything.
So you gotta have the jalapenos on it.
I add the jalapenos in there with load it up.
Yep.
Load it up.
So yeah, okay. That's a very very good guess. All right. Finally, last question. Let's see. We're looking up here. I had one. When prepping wings for a Super Bowl party, what's the appropriate amount of wings per person?
I'm glad you asked that one.
My wife and I are having a debate. This is our ender. Well, you tell me. What is the appropriate number of wings per capita at a party?
Okay.
Knowing full well that if you have a Super Bowl party, not everybody's going to eat wings, right? But you have to assume that you have X number of wings per person.
I would say there's a lot going on. When you're at a social gathering, there's a lot going on.
And wings are an involved food. You have to be committed to eating a wing. It's not like a chip, No.
Okay. You got to be committed to it. I would say 4 to 6.
4 to 6?
4 to 6. If we're dedicating to it.
I think a lot of it also depends on what the other food spread is.
Yeah.
If you're only providing one thing, then you should probably go on the higher end of that, six wings per person.
Okay. Fine.
But I'm saying if this is a potluck type thing and you've got a bunch of other stuff that you're eating, and this is a centerpiece but not the only thing, I think that you can go
2, 3.
3. 3 wings per person. But again, it depends on how vast the spread is.
You're gonna have a little plate, right? And there's gonna be the spread, and you're gonna the plate is 2 hand palms, couple wings,
some dip,
some
chips, some other knickknacks, some pigs in a blanket. You know what I mean?
tendies, maybe. I don't know.
Wow, wings and tendies. What kind of bougie Super Bowl parties you going to? Jeez. Wow.
I'm trying to think.
Can I tell you?
Maybe some sliders.
Sliders. Yeah, a lot of it depends on what your spread looks like. If it's a collection of dips, then you need something a little bit more substantive, like a lot of wings or something like that. But if it's sliders and tendies and other things that are substantive and could be central party figures, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like central main meals. Then I think you can get away with 2 to 3 wings, 3 wings per person.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of it. But again, it's largely contextual. I think you need to take a look at the spread overall and say, all right, how many? Because the other thing is, and here's a controversial take. You ready for a controversial take?
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
Wings expire. Okay? What I'm saying is, I think like if you're cooking a lot of wings for Super Bowl, you have 24 hours to eat them. They're not good on Tuesday. I'm out on old wings. Do you want to argue with me? We can argue. This is a forum. We're having fun.
No.
So let's just say that Sunday rolls around and your family's having wings.
Okay.
And you guys make 60 wings, and there's 20 wings left over for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Are you bringing those for lunch on Tuesday? I think wings expire. I think the half-life of wings is about
you know what?
24
As a
hours.
person who has heated up wings the next day, I can disagree.
Next day. I'm not saying next day.
Okay.
I'm saying you can eat them on Monday.
Okay. After that's a no.
But after you go to bed at Monday night, they need to be going to bed in your trash.
Throw them away.
Well, okay. I mean, I don't know what to do with them. Like, the problem is wings are not like a super versatile dish. You can't
pizza.
Like pizza. Pizza keeps. Pizza, like there are foods that you can eat. Pizza you can keep, and you'll eat that Tuesday.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat it Wednesday, but like you can eat it Tuesday. Like that's what extends past 24 hours.
Yeah.
Dips will extend past 24 hours, most dips, right? I just don't think wings do. Come at me.
He said that his wife and him
were having a debate about this.
So you know what? Maybe just listen to your wife.
It's the overarching theme of this show. If there's one thing you learn from this show, just listen to your wife. Listen to the woman in your life. And buy her a subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram. Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Forney head coach Jeff Fleener, a guy who I definitely know what school he coaches at. For Vianey Moreno, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you Tuesday on Texas Football Today.